Today we're celebrating Valentine's Day and we will be preparing for you two dishes: American-style heart-shaped pancakes and American brownies.
Actually, the boys will do most of the cooking. We will be talking with Vicky about the Valentine's Day in the USA. We like this idea very much.
So we have two dishes to prepare, brownie and pancakes.
So Chuck, what do we do first?
Well, since it takes time for the brownies to bake, we'll do the brownies first, and then the pancakes are very quick, and we'll do that while the brownies are baking in the oven, okay?
Okay.
So our next step is we need to get a small bowl and we put 4 broken eggs, break 4 eggs in it and mix them up. So let's do that. Okay, so in Poland, we sell eggs 10 in a carton. In America, eggs are always 12 in a carton. It's just different. It's not right or wrong, it's just different. So do you guys know how to break eggs?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, start breaking some eggs. Break 4 eggs in this. All right, 1. You come in here and you beat these eggs till they're nice and fluffy. And while he does that, we will prepare, start beating. Beat, 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 beat. Put some enthusiasm into this. And we are going to add 2 cups of sugar while he does this, okay? So I have a cup right here. So we're going to measure, we want you to fill this cup up and make sure 1 cup of sugar.
1 cup of sugar.
So now, boys, we're going to have to add some chocolate to our thing. So we're going to put this chocolate, and I know you guys have already broken it up in the package, but we need to make it even smaller pieces. So I'm going to give half to Camille and half to Patrick, and they're going to use their knives and chop it up even smaller pieces. This is not a chance to eat the chocolate. Try not to cut your fingers while you do this.
Like that?
Yes. So now our next step is we're going to add the butter to our sugar and egg mixture right here. Stir, 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 and I'm adding the butter. Next, we've measured out a cup of flour, about 200 grams. And so we're going to add the flour slowly. In addition, we're going to add 2.5 grams of salt. So we have some salt in this. We're going to measure out 2.5 grams. We're going to add it, sprinkle it in there, and we're going to stir and stir and stir. Okay, now what? Half a cup of cocoa. So the next step is we're going to add a half a cup, about 100 grams of cocoa.
While the boys are doing the cooking, the girls are talking.
And that's the way it should be. Usually the women do the cooking and the men or the boys do the talking.
Yes.
So what will we talk about today?
Vicky, so what does the Valentine's Day look like in the USA?
Well, in some ways it's just a day like every day. We go to work, we go to school, but it's also a day for romance, like romantic dinners, maybe with your boyfriend or your husband. Often men will give flowers to women, like to their wives or their girlfriends, maybe their daughters. Sometimes, like if you're young and you don't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, then you want a letter or a Valentine from somebody that you like, and you hope, cross your fingers, that you will get a Valentine from someone. But in many ways, it's just a normal everyday day. For some people, it's a sad day because they say, oh, I don't have a boyfriend or I don't have a girlfriend, and they're sad. But I think most people, it's a fun day.
Do you have any fond memories about Valentine's Day from when you were my age?
That's a good question. That's hard. One memory that I do have, I was a little bit older. I was at university and I received roses from a boy. And it was very nice, but it was also a surprise because we were just friends. And so it was a shock to receive roses from him. But it was a nice surprise.
Are there any special meals for Valentine's Day?
Wow, that's a really good question. I don't think there's a traditional meal, but it's very popular to give chocolate as a gift. And sometimes we get a present of chocolate in a heart-shaped box with little different kinds of chocolate, or maybe a big chocolate heart. But a meal, I think everybody maybe just has, if they go out to dinner for a nice restaurant and have maybe their favorite meal in a restaurant, but there's not a traditional meal that people eat, except chocolate, which isn't really a meal, it's just something that people eat at Valentine's Day.
So tell us something about how you met Chuck.
Oh, well, how did I meet Chuck? We went to the same high school, or to Lyceum, together, but we were only acquaintances. We were not friends. And many years after high school, even after university, we were together at an American football game with friends, and that's where we started. I saw him and I thought, oh, I remember him, that's Chuck Franks. And a few weeks later he called and asked me to go for a date, and I told him no first. And
why?
I didn't want to go out. I don't know, I remembered him from school, but didn't want to go out. I don't remember, I was busy or something. And he was in the Army, and he left. He went away for 6 months. He was gone. And when he came back, he came to where I worked and asked me to go to dinner. And I thought, oh, I haven't seen him in a long time. Well, I'll go out for dinner, it'll be nice. And that was our first date, and like less than a year later we were married. And we went to Pizza Hut. We had pizza for our first date.
Beautiful story.
It's always good talking.
But maybe we should see what the boys are doing now.
So now it's time for American style pancakes.
Okay, well there as far as I know, there's no other style of pancakes. There's pancakes, and then there are other things. Pancakes, all pancakes are American style. There's just one style, pancakes. And so what's the difference between a pancake and, as you say in Polish, a naleśniki? Do you know what the difference is?
Yes, I know.
Naleśniki are more deeper?
Are thinner.
Thinner, yes.
Yes. So the batter is thinner and they're spread out. And I think one of the major differences is a naleśniki doesn't have soda in it. But we shall see. Somebody can tell us if that's true or not. So we're going to make our pancakes now. So the first thing we need to do is we need to put in 2 cups of flour. So put 2 cups of flour in this big bowl. I'll pour it for you. Now we're making buttermilk pancakes, so we'll be using buttermilk. What's buttermilk in Polish?
Maślanka.
Maślanka.
Of course. So we put in 2 cups of flour, and so we need to put in 2 cups of buttermilk. So put 2 cups of buttermilk in there.
Hold it, please.
Now we need to put in 5 grams of salt. 5 grams of salt. And one of you put in 5 grams of soda. Okay? One of you will put in 2 eggs and make sure you break it, and don't put the eggshell in there. Don't put the eggshell in there with it, okay? 50 grams or milliliters of oil. So this is 15, so we're going to do it 3 times, okay? Put it over the, so we can make a mess, it'll spill in there.
We are done with the cooking. We hope that girls will like it.